Justice League International number 11, written by Dan Jurgens, art by Aaron Lopresti. Last issue left off with the JLI being taken hostage by, I think his name was Breakdown, and his gang, and they're going to execute them live on like the Capitol steps or whatever. So this issue picks up with them trapped in like a light box by Lightweaver, and they're just being held hostage in front of this crowd who are basically like, these guys suck. They represent the system, and the system sucks. Do you agree? To which the crowd is like, yeah, wait a minute. Isn't that the Justice League? Don't they save people? And it's like, yeah, they save people, but only the people that help enforce the system, the people that the system says is okay. They are ordained by the UN. That super sucks, right? And the crowd's like, yeah, wait a minute. Weren't they just cut by the UN? Also, you look really evil. To which point, they kind of stop talking to the crowd entirely. And we see the Justice League is just like, okay, so the crowd is going to execute us, despite the fact that the crowd seems pretty iffy on the whole thing. And internally, they're all just sitting there just like, all right, here's the deal. We need to break out of this light box thing. The only one here strong enough to do that is Omak. Omak, do it. And he's like, I can't. I'm too weak. And he's like, it's okay, Omak. You suck. So then they try to pull out, I think it's August General in Iron. Also, some soldiers arrive in order to contain the situation. And they pull out August General in Iron, and Breakdown puts his hand on his head and starts like destroying him the same way that he breaks down everything else. And everyone's like, okay, we need to speed up whatever plan we had going on here. Omak, I know that you're afraid to let out your inner monster, but you got to do it. And he's like, And then Guy Gardner calls him weak. And then he goes, I am Omak. And he breaks out of the light box. And everyone else is free. To which the one named Intersect was the one who was cutting off Booster and Guy Gardner's powers. So immediately, Batwing just runs over, punches her in the face. And now Guy Gardner and Booster Gold are in the fight. There's also random cutaways, like multiple times in this book, to some random bar, not even in Washington, just like elsewhere, that's watching this on TV, and they're just commenting like, man, this is the B-list Justice League, right? Crazy. I wonder what A-listers are doing right now, for some reason. So anyway, everyone gets in their little fights and stuff like that. And then we see that Godiva's got a handle on Intersect. August General gets up and he knocks out Breakdown. I don't even know where the video game guy went. He just disappeared. And then Omak is still on a rampage and he's just running through town. But Guy Gardner's taken on Lightweaver, and he manages to get Lightweaver distracted enough to knock out his light shield as the soldiers that brought in a tank come in, fire a shot, and just incinerate Lightweaver. Just dead. And they're like, well, he knew the game anyway. So now, August General knocked out Breakdown before, but then he pulls him back up again, and then literally just like destroys him with one punch. Like he's shattered into 100 pieces. So there's a lot of murder going on right now. Anyway, Omak, he's making his way through the soldiers, and they're like, Omak, hey, those are the good guys. Stop it, Omak. And Booster steps up, and he's like, Omak, it's over. Kevin, you don't have to do this. And he's like, you are the enemy. And Booster's like, I'm not your enemy. And he takes down his shield, and he's like, I'm here for you, Omak. And Omak throws a punch, and it's about to hit Booster's face, but then he's like, I'm sorry, Booster. And he's like, it's okay, we're friends. Also, I'm going to get you pretty heavy-duty therapy soon. So he standing there with all of them. They're like, guys, we won. We did it. We finally have a win in our column. And Booster turns around and kisses Godiva, and it's just a beautiful day. So remember earlier I said Lightweaver was pretty much incinerated? Well, that whole time he was fighting, his brother was there. And his brother was like, no, don't do this, Malcolm. To which, now that the fight's over, he picks up the body of Lightweaver, carries it down an alley, and he's like, why did you do it, Malcolm? And he's like, now it is your fight, my brother Malik. So he, touches his head or something like that, transferring his powers, and then dies. And now Malik is like, I will continue your fight. No one will forget you, especially not the Justice League International. And that's where we leave off. Okay. I don't, I don't, I wanted so much more for this group of villains. Like, they had so much potential to them. And then they're just like, we're just going to kill them on Capitol steps. And like the crowd themselves were like, yeah, wait a minute. No. To which I get, like, no, don't kill the people on Capitol steps. But come on, run with the idealists for a little bit there. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. I had such good hopes for these villains. And it's just like, I should have known better than this guy can make light constructs and that girl can interrupt technology. Wow. So overall, it's fine. I do like the OMAC thing they're doing here, where it's the Hulk, basically. They're just making it, he's the Hulk, and I'm okay with that. I think it's handled decently well here, because they've set up this thing where he doesn't want to be this monster. So having him basically Hulk out and not being able to control it, I like that plot. It's solid. Everything else is kind of background noise, I feel like. They keep on trying to push August General, and I'm just not feeling it. Maybe that's just me, but it just feels like, no, he's truly an honorable man. And I'm like, yeah, okay. He's just a guy. He's made of iron. He's Iron Man. But Chinese. I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with it, but it's just not hitting quite right for me. So overall, I'm going to go ahead and say this one's a 6.5. And it's a lot of it comes down to I like the flow of it all, which is hard for me to describe to you, but I do like how it flows. The actual, what they're doing with the ideas, hit or miss. But the flow of it all and the way they're handling these characters, I like that enough to give it a 6.5. So I think we're done with this plot. We'll see what we have in store next. But yeah, it's 6.5 for now.